somebody in a Honda, somebody in a minivan. Yo, people in minivans don't care about nothing. Like, they don't care about nothing, people in minivans. It's either a Honda, a minivan, a lady, or like a elderly person. God forbid it's a older lady driving a Honda minivan. Just get off the road. Just pull over and park until they're like 10 miles away from you. Yeah, I can't.
People cannot stop talking, and the whispers are everywhere, moving from phone screens to group chats, from comment sections to late-night conversations, as the rumor mill spins faster than anyone can keep up. Right now, many believe Papoose may have worked his way back into Claressa Shields' good graces. Not long ago, she sounded drained, uncertain, and weighed down by emotions she could not fully explain. Her voice carried the heaviness of someone feeling lost, and she openly shared that her boxing camp was the only place where her mind felt calm and her heart felt steady, a space filled with focus, discipline, and peace where the outside noise disappeared. Then, almost overnight, her energy shifted. The sadness faded, her tone grew lighter, and fans immediately noticed the change. One day she appeared hurt and confused, and the next she seemed ready to move forward like nothing had happened. That kind of sudden turn never goes unnoticed, especially in the public eye. With no new photos or videos to explain the shift, speculation took over. People close to the situation claimed something important was happening behind closed doors, and the silence between Claressa and Papoose felt louder than any statement. At the same time, attention turned to Remy's recent posts. Captions that once seemed random suddenly felt intentional, almost like coded messages. Fans began dissecting every word, trying to uncover hidden meanings. Then an old video of Remy resurfaced at the exact moment Papoose was reportedly in New York, and that timing alone raised eyebrows. Even if the clip was old, its reappearance felt deliberate, as if someone went digging for it. Once shared, it spread quickly, adding more fuel to an already tense and shaky situation that feels far from over.
You understand? They're not gonna have you out here being called a side bitch, a mistress, or any of these other things, and making you think they're telling you the truth. And that, well, let me guess, I'm keeping my daughter right. I would never, and let me be clear, I would never, ever. My lawyer will tell you guys, I don't want full custody. The custody is joint down the.
Debates broke out and the drama only grew, turning the clip into yet another puzzle piece in a story already crowded with questions and half-answers. Behind the scenes, quiet talk suggested Claressa was far from happy. On the surface, she tried to stay calm and collected, but those close to her claimed frustration was simmering underneath. What seemed to bother her most was what happened every time Papoose traveled to New York. According to the whispers, he would suddenly go silent, explaining that he was busy handling work and staying focused, but the long gaps without calls or messages made her uneasy. Silence has a way of creating its own stories, and her mind began filling in the blanks. When he finally returned, the tension showed up immediately. Claressa started connecting the dots, the rumors she had heard, the posts she had seen, and the messages people kept sending her, all lining up in a way that did not feel right. Sources claimed Papoose went with her to training and acted as if everything was normal, joking, smiling, staying close, and later following her home to smooth things over. He insisted it was all just noise, gossip, and people chasing drama, but this time she was not fully convinced. The timing felt too perfect. The quiet trips, the resurfacing posts, the strange videos all seemed coordinated instead of random, and her instincts told her something was off. Then the situation took another turn when photos and videos of Remy began circulating again, including a short clip of her trying on a fur coat while a man's voice played in the background. Many swore it sounded like Papoose, and social media erupted. He claimed the voice was fake, saying it was created by artificial intelligence, which only fueled more chaos as people argued over what could even be trusted anymore. After that, Claressa's tone shifted once again. One moment she spoke about peace, faith, and clarity at her boxing camp, and the next she snapped at the very fans who had been.
Co-workers keeps coming right here with some fast giveaway for everybody.
So usually Papoose is there.
Oh yeah, he gets it.
Too blind to see that the pictures and clips were fake, or at least that is how it started to look from the outside. Insiders believed Papoose's words may have slowly pushed her back into seeing things his way, and that possibility is what really worried people watching from a distance. With every passing day, the story felt heavier and more tangled, growing more complicated instead of clearer. As the drama stretched on, observers began breaking everything down piece by piece, trying to understand what felt like a deepening mystery. Attention shifted sharply toward Papoose. Some fans went as far as running his name through number patterns, claiming it connected to numbers like 87 and 33. To them, those numbers were not random at all, but signals pointing to something hidden beneath the surface. Online, people turned into full-time investigators. Videos were paused and replayed. Comments were reread. Timelines were compared side by side. Every detail mattered, no matter how small. The feeling grew that this situation had crossed a line. It was no longer just strange or messy. It felt like something significant was waiting to be exposed. Then the conversation around the meaning of 87 took over. The first word people latched onto was spy, which immediately sparked intense debate. Some wondered if someone was quietly watching, gathering information, moving behind the scenes without ever stepping into the spotlight. Another word tied to the number was fallout, suggesting a major moment was coming. The question became where that explosion would land. Would it be between Papoose and Remy, or between Papoose and Claressa? Others believed the real conflict had not even surfaced yet. Additional words linked to the number included fame and nuke. Fame stood out the most. Claressa had fought for every ounce of respect and recognition she earned. Every win, every headline, every moment in the spotlight was hard-won. Some fans believed Papoose was chasing visibility too, trying to hold on to relevance in an industry that moves fast and forgets even faster. Rumors about trouble in his marriage kept circulating, mixing talk of money pressure, emotional distance, and the growing divide between public image and private reality. Some even claimed he was getting close to someone with more power and influence, fueling the idea that this was not just about betrayal, but strategy, image, and survival at any cost.
That's just true, man. None of it, all of that was fugazi. I come from a big family. Like if you really follow me and you're not just around for the gossip, you see my daughter, you see my sisters, you see my mother, you see so many beautiful women in my life who love me to.
Claressa, meanwhile, kept pushing forward, working hard to protect her name because her reputation mattered deeply to her. She had built her career on discipline, strength, and focus, and she was not about to let public chaos undo years of effort. At the same time, whispers claimed Papoose was quietly networking behind the scenes, trying to climb higher in the industry while keeping his moves out of plain sight. With divorce never being openly addressed, the tension only seemed to thicken, leaving everyone watching closely and wondering who was really in control of the narrative. Then the story took another strange turn. Rumors began circulating that Claressa may have played a much bigger role in Papoose's divorce than anyone initially believed. Some claimed that if he truly wanted to walk away, she was prepared to help cover legal costs herself, suggesting her loyalty ran deeper than people realized. According to Street Talk, money was never the issue for her. If he said he could not afford lawyers, many believed she would have stepped in without hesitation. That idea raised even more questions. Did she offer and he refused, or were Papoose and Remy both moving in ways that outsiders could not fully understand? Confusion only grew when talk spread that Remy allegedly pulled the divorce papers back at the last moment, adding yet another layer of uncertainty. Once again, number theories resurfaced online. Fans pointed to the number 87, linking it to words like sneaky, which fueled speculation about what might be happening behind closed doors. Another phrase tied to the number was old age, which some interpreted as a sign that Papoose and Remy were playing a long, patient game. The theory was that they moved slowly and quietly, staying in control while keeping their names relevant. To many, it felt like a chess match where most people could only see half the board. Then another term emerged, Ultimate Fighter, which fans immediately connected to Claressa. Known for her
That's in my friends and my family is called Memorial Weekend, not Memorial. So I think I'm gonna spend Memorial Weekend with my new battle rap family and introduce some more of them to you guys. Yeah? It's gonna be cool. Y'all gonna love it.
Another word that kept surfacing was Truman, which instantly made people think of the movie where the main character slowly realizes his entire world is staged. His friendships, his routines, even the smallest moments of daily life are all part of a carefully controlled illusion. Some observers began to wonder if Claressa might be experiencing something similar, surrounded by people who smile to her face while quietly working against her behind the scenes. That idea unsettled a lot of fans. What once felt like gossip started to feel cinematic, almost scripted. Love tangled with money. Loyalty tested by fame. Trust stretched thin by whispers of manipulation. Every move began to look intentional, as if nothing was happening by accident. The number patterns were no longer being linked only to Claressa. They circled back to Papoose as well. One phrase that appeared was number of the beast, which sounded dark and disturbing to many. Another word, soul, suggested something deeper than surface-level drama, as if the situation involved identity and control, not just relationships. The word retire kept showing up alongside old age, leading some to believe Papoose was playing a long game, staying active quietly in the background, protecting his image, making moves privately until he chose to exit on his own terms. Then attention shifted to his real name. Some sources listed him as Shemu Mackey, others claimed Willie. When fans ran the name Willie Shy Mackey through their number systems, they said it connected to phrases linked with deception and misdirection. That alone raised eyebrows. The energy around him started to feel unstable, almost unreal. Whether coincidence or not, many agreed the patterns no longer felt random. As the theories expanded, darker phrases emerged. Ritual blood sacrifice shocked people and sparked confusion. Most ruled out Remy and doubted it pointed directly at Papoose, especially with old age repeatedly appearing near his name. Another phrase, hidden hand, suggested someone unseen pulling strings. Names tied to power and influence surfaced, while Undefeated and Ultimate Champion once again pulled the focus back to Claressa, reinforcing the idea that no matter how deep the shadows grow, she remains at the center of the story.
Flowers to me. Oh man, my mother and my father. Rest in peace to my uncle who died from COVID not too long ago. My cousin, you know what I'm saying, we grew up more like brothers. Also to Claressa Shields. She's accomplished things that no boxer.
Fans began comparing the unfolding situation to what happened with MO3, pointing out eerie similarities in how rumors, numbers, and online narratives seemed to spiral out of control before the full truth ever surfaced. They talked about how chaos often arrives quietly at first, disguised as confusion, mixed signals, and emotional exhaustion. The repeated appearance of words tied to fate made people uneasy, as if the story was moving toward a moment that could not be avoided. Houston kept coming up again and again, and for many that felt significant, like a location tied to turning points rather than coincidence. The mention of Madonna added another strange layer, symbolizing reinvention, control of image, and survival in the spotlight no matter the backlash. Some fans believed Claressa was standing at a crossroads, pulled between trust and instinct, love and self-preservation. Others felt the constant noise was wearing her down, making it harder for her to separate truth from manipulation. The deeper people dug, the more the story felt less about romance and more about power, influence, and narrative control. Every number, every symbol, every sudden shift in behavior became part of a larger picture people were desperate to understand. Whether the theories were accurate or not, one thing was clear to those watching closely. This was no longer just internet chatter. It felt like a buildup, like something inevitable was approaching, and everyone sensed that when it finally arrived, it would change everything.
As a partner, I had to learn to not be so overprotective and allow her to go out there and do her thing and just support her decision. Like I said, sometimes when you love a person, you're always constantly giving advice, trying to stop them from doing things. But she taught me to just stand back and just support my decision.
Out how contracts, attention, and money seemed to follow after his passing, and they started asking the uncomfortable question of who actually profits when chaos takes over. What stood out to many was how Claressa's career kept accelerating in the middle of all the confusion. New deals, fresh sponsorships, and constant media attention surrounded her, making it feel as if she were living inside a carefully scripted movie. Yet behind the cameras and headlines, the same question refused to disappear. Who is truly gaining from all this noise, and at what cost? As the situation continues to unfold, people are watching more closely than ever. Some see the rise of a new chapter, a transformation fueled by pressure and resilience. Others fear it may be the setup for something far more unsettling. Either way, one thing feels certain. This story is far from finished, and whatever comes next will be loud, public, and impossible to ignore.